What is up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. It's Denise Salcedo here. I didn't realize that my stream started going live before I was even ready. So if you guys caught me scratching my nose, ignore that. Guys, what the heck? So the last 2.5 hours of Money in the Bank were actually like really surprising. There was a lot of really good stuff that happened on today's show. So today we're gonna go ahead and talk about it all. Guys, before we get started, what did you guys think of Money in the Bank in general as an entire pay-per-view? BTW, for those of you who are tuning in to the chat today on the live stream, thank you so much for coming on, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would be talking to an empty wall, to a computer screen. I wouldn't be talking to anyone. So what were your thoughts of the show, the entire thing as a whole? And then we're going to go ahead and jump into the actual main card of the show. And I'm going to start off with the main Money in the Bank match, guys, because there was so much to talk about with that match. And I want to talk about it before I forget all the awesome things that happened on the show. BTW, shout out to D-Train, Riot Maker, Freaks of Wrestling Podcast, and Mesmer Heart for also being in the chat and sort of kicking it off here today. So that's very exciting. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Okay, so far, I'm trying to see, what did you guys think of Money in the Bank as an entire pay-per-view? Go ahead and drop your comments in the chat box. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and kick it off. So I felt that it was a really fast pay-per-view. When the main Money in the Bank match, the main event, started at about 6 o'clock, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, is this gonna last an entire hour? I thought it was gonna go all the way to 7 o'clock, so that was my original assumption. And when it didn't, I was actually pretty shocked. I really was. I wasn't expecting to get started a lot earlier than I was today. Okay, guys, so we're getting some comments. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying before we get started. So, Freaks of Wrestling Podcast says, very good pay-per-view, and the Money in the Bank ladder match were so good and entertaining. It was beyond, like, super good and entertaining. I think it was, like, one of the best things I have seen on television in a really long time. I was so excited. I was, like, marking out on my Twitter feed, just going bananas talking about it. D-Train Riot Maker says, overall show was decent but fast. Stephen Butler says, entire pay-per-view was better than I expected. The music enhanced the show. Quick editing for the Money in the Bank match. I was really happy that they didn't include commentary, because I thought that it just added so much more. Like, the little song that they had was very fast-paced, and I have to applaud the editor who did this, because they did such a good job. Like, it felt like you were watching it live, and it felt like they were jumping from camera to camera. It didn't feel like something that was pre-recorded and heavily edited. It really didn't feel like that. And I actually thought that the inserts that they had for the match were really funny, but we'll get into that in a second. Hello to Carly Funches, who is also in the stream. Francisco Blanco says, short but sweet, okay pay-per-view. Before we get into the matches, really quickly, I will say this, that I kind of really liked the flow of today's pay-per-view. I didn't feel like I was just sitting there, waiting for something good to happen. It didn't feel like that. Like, things were continuously happening on the show. It was like one moment something was happening, and then the next something else was going on. J-Law says, glad Asuka won, but wondering why 3 of the women didn't get to the roof. What do you think of only 3 women making it to the roof? I think it makes it much better, and I will say this because if they all made it, it kind of takes away from all of the madness and the chaos that happened prior on the bottom levels. And so, if anything, I think it makes it look a little bit more unpredictable. Like, hey, you guys didn't even make it to the top. Like, hey, that's pretty crazy. So I actually think that it did add to that. Computer Technology says, this Money in the Bank don't seem like real. It's like a movie. Yeah, and it's cool because I think we're really liking that like cinematic approach that they're bringing. And obviously they're not doing it like on the entirety of the show. But we saw that with the Firefly Funhouse match. We saw that with the Boneyard match. And now with the Money in the Bank match. And given the situation with the fact that there's no audience and, things are changing for 2020, I actually think that having these matches like this brings a lot to the table, more so than if it was just a regular Money in the Bank. Like, you got to think about it. Like, there are so many people that are tuning out every week for Raw and SmackDown. So having a pay-per-view like this and promoting a match like this will get more eyeballs because people are curious. Like, oh, I want to see what's going to happen at WWE headquarters on the roof. So it's like a pretty catchy way to bring in an audience and, watch the pay-per-view and whatnot. For example, if I was a fan and I chose to tune out from Money in the Bank and I went on Twitter and I saw what everybody was saying about the Money in the Bank match, I would be so angry at myself if I missed that, to be honest. I'd be like, I gotta go watch Money in the Bank right now and find out what on earth happened. Carly says she agrees with me, and hello to Zaynep, who also just tuned in to the stream. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and kick it off. We're gonna start talking about the actual Money in the Bank main event because there was so much good stuff that happened. So, okay. So we're just going to start off. I want you guys to share with me your favorite spots of the match, what you guys liked the best, memorable moments, how you guys felt about it. And I'll just kind of go through some of the spots that I noted down because I thought they were really cool. So first of all, both the men and the women's Money in the Bank happened at the exact same time. This was already announced. So when they first announced that they were going to be happening at the same time, I was like, how is that gonna work? Like, I didn't think it was gonna work. And when I saw it, I'm actually really happy that they did them together because I think that had they done them separately, it would have taken away from all the chaos and the madness and basically the frenzy that was happening. Francisco Blanco says, my question is, did Ray and Alistair die? Bro, for reals, right? Okay, so let's start off. So they basically start off, the women are in the lobby in front of the elevator, and then the men started off in the gym, and things just kind of went wild from there. So here were some of the best spots. So some of the best ones from the beginning was right away Asuka. All the girls were standing there, they all got their little entrance, but Asuka was the one that seemed to be missing. Asuka was thinking ahead, guys. She was thinking, she was ready. She was at the top. She was on the level above, and then she jumped onto the girls, and that's how the Money in the Bank started. Basically, okay, so from there, we had another cool spot that Baron Corbin did. I actually thought this one was awesome when he threw the weight towards Daniel Bryan and ended up missing Daniel Bryan by a little bit and instead smashed the mirror. Now, I know that, I don't know if anybody, okay, let's just say if I was Baron Corbin and I had to do that spot, I don't think I'd want to because I'm that person that believes in 7 years bad luck if you smash a mirror. So I actually thought that one was a little like, oof, I would not want to chance that at all. Mesmer Hart says, AJ finding the Undertaker room was brilliant. Yes, and that's one of the things I want to mention. I think AJ Styles went through hell and back. I think he had the worst time during Money in the Bank, and one of those was my favorite part. So one of the parts that I liked a lot that happened, but here we go. There was a part where Otis was smashing AJ Styles' head into like a post, and he was just going, oh yeah, and just kept smashing AJ Styles' head. I thought that was hilarious. Otis trapping AJ Styles underneath the weight. That was hilarious, but the best part was when AJ Styles was asking Rey Mysterio for help, and Rey just looks at him and says, "Estás loco." And for those of you guys who don't speak Spanish or don't know what "estás loco" is, it means you're crazy. He basically said, bro, I ain't gonna help you out here today, and he didn't. Rey Mysterio was super savage during this moment and just left AJ Styles to fend for his own, which obviously is the point, guys. Every man for himself, duh. But it was still savage though. But I gotta tell you, I loved that spot. I thought that was so good. D-Train says, poor Ray got choked out, Shayna and crushed by Nia and Otis. And then Carly says that spot was awesome. So that was a really, really good spot. Let's see. We also saw, okay, I lost, by the way, during this, I lost track of all the floors that they were going through. Like, it was kind of hard to tell. So for a second, I was just like, all right, I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to see, like, what they find. J-Law says, I saw the landing pad on the roof when they did the overhead shot of the WWE building, so I knew they were fine being thrown off the roof. Well, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think they would, like, do that. Like, that would be too extreme. There was another really good spot where Daniel was kicking Baron Corbin, and the entire time Otis was going, yes, yes, yes. And then Daniel Bryan finally gets fed up and gets Otis and starts kicking him. Guys, I gotta say, Otis was one of the big highlights for today. And we'll talk about the ending once we get there. But I gotta say, he did a hell of a job making me very entertained. There was also the spot where Dana Brooke goes into the conference room and she grabs the Money in the Bank in there, and then there's an insert of Stephanie McMahon, and she basically says, like, what are you doing? Like, you gotta get to the roof. I thought it was hilarious because we all know Stephanie wasn't in that room. She was in another random room with a white wall behind her, but the fact that they had that insert in there, I thought was pretty hilarious. Saeed says, where is the hacker? I don't know. So the whole thing with AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio really got me invested in AJ Styles getting his revenge against Rey Mysterio, because that's how I thought it was so savage when Rey did that. It made it funny when AJ Styles was looking for him afterwards. And then, as one of our viewers mentioned earlier, AJ Styles ended up finding a room with a coffin in there, or like several coffins, all right? I'm sorry, but I am terribly afraid of like hospitals, and like the last thing I would want to do is like go into the room where there's a morgue or anything like that. So right away, my brain went there, and I was like, this is not looking good for AJ Styles at all. Nobody wants to be that person that finds that room any place. And I loved it because it tied into the Boneyard match and everything with The Undertaker, and they even showed us some highlights from that. So I thought that was great. But let's see what you guys thought. Vinny says, hi, Denise. The match was one of the best I've seen in years. Also, I love being a WWE fan and a Swiftie at this time. Vinny, yes, you are one of the rare people that I love and appreciate, both a WWE fan and a Swiftie. You have no idea. Love you. And yes, I agree with you. It's definitely one of the most unique things we've seen in a very long time. Jonathan Jones says, I love the surprises at the WWE headquarters, like Bruce Pritchard, brotherly love, WWE legend Doink the Clown, Paul Heyman, John Laurinaitis, and Vince McMahon. That was awesome. Yes, I wasn't expecting little surprises, but it makes sense. They're at WWE headquarters. They should be finding people. J-Law says, puts into perspective just how imposing Nia Jax is standing next to Otis. Oh, that's pretty true, actually. Jonathan Jones, the rumor of the hacker might be CM Punk or Ronda Rousey. To be honest, I haven't really read up on the rumors, so I won't comment on that just yet. And then, let's see. Vinny says, yes, it does. AJ deserved to beat him and did it rightfully. J-Law says, I feel sad seeing AJ wearing an OC shirt. OC RIP. All right, so moving on. By the way, while you guys are watching this, please make sure to share your thoughts on this match, whether you're watching live on the chat or whether you're watching the replay. You guys can go ahead and share your thoughts with me in the comments section. So let's go ahead and continue with some other really great spots for this Money in the Bank match, because there were tons of them. The other one was the food fight. First of all, Paul Heyman, hello, he was in the best place of the building with all of that food, and I'm kind of upset because I need to go back and like rewatch and see like what plates were there, because I feel like that's something I'd be interested in. Otis all of a sudden grabs like a food item, puts it in his chest, and starts like jiggling, dancing, and crumbling the food up at the same time. That was random, but it was hilarious. I was literally laughing out loud during that part. So there you go. They start a food fight. That was a nice little touch as well. One of the parts that I really liked, and this is what Asuka is really good at. So Asuka is really good at making the fans and the audience feel what she is feeling. So put yourself in her position. She's trying to get to the Money in the Bank. If you're a wrestler and you're trying to get to the Money in the Bank, what are you going to feel? You're going to feel anxious. You're going to be feeling panic. You're going to be in challenge competition mode, okay? Think about that. And I feel that out of all the people, Asuka was the one that really got that and really put it into perspective. One of those moments was when she went up to the janitor, the guy that was cleaning, and she just starts saying God knows what, but it didn't matter what she was saying or the fact that I didn't know what she was saying. I just knew that she was panicking and she was like wanting to get to the top. And because I felt like she was panicking, I started panicking on her behalf, feeling like I was like, okay, she needs to get there. So she got a rise out of me as a viewer. So I just need to say like kudos to Asuka on that one, because that was a really nice like little touch that I thought did really well. After that, we saw Dana Brooke slipping on the water from the janitor. I thought that was a clever touch, because I was wondering, I was like, okay, who's gonna slip here? And it was Dana, and she did it so smoothly, and it hurt watching her do that. Saeed says, I love your talking style. Thank you so much. D-Train says, Otis is money. Yes. Holy dang. He is so funny. His comedic, what do you call it? Like his comedic timing, there you go, is always on point. Let's see. Jonathan Jones says, yes, he was. And I loved it when Otis gave John Laurinaitis a pie in the face. I was looking at the pie and I was like, oh, it looks so good. Vinny said he was laughing the entire time when he did. Talha Zubair says, why Becky Lynch is not defending her title? She is overrated. She is not a great athlete. She can't even move. Charlotte is the best. What? You're not a fan of the man, Becky Lynch? I love Charlotte, but I don't think I would say like all of those things about Becky Lynch, because I think Becky Lynch has deserved that title. She is a great champion and has a shit ton of personality, and that goes very, very, very far for me. Personality goes a long way. Let's see, who else do we have here? J-Law says it's the Hogan power-up, Otis power-up, our food plates and weights. Jonathan says, okay, feel sorry about Dana Brooke when she slipped and banged her head hard. And Carly notes that the pie did look good. All right, some other good points that we mentioned earlier about this was that there was no commentary. I'm really happy about that, because I think that the commentary would have taken away from it. I think the fact that we as the fans were sort of making our own commentary for this match, I think that added a really nice bonus to it. Again, the music that was played in the background was very exciting. It kept it going. Then there was the scene, guys, with Vince McMahon. And we should have known that this was going to happen, because commentary did mention this the weeks prior leading up to Money in the Bank, was that we might get a glimpse into Vince McMahon's office. And we saw AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan get in there, mess up Vince's chairs, and Vince just gives them the, you better put that back face. And they do. AJ and Daniel look at each other like two scolded little boys and fix the chairs. Then they leave, and the funny part was that Vince put on hand sanitizer, and it was just kind of like like, hey, we're during the Rona season, so let's throw a little nod to that or something. So yeah, so I thought that was a really nice funny touch, and it was funny that they played the part of, hey, we don't want to get in trouble with Vince here. So I really, really enjoyed that. After that, they get to the roof. We saw the women go at it first. Asuka, Nia, and Lacey were the ones that were up there. And then we saw Baron Corbin, who was the first of the men, get up there. And then he and Asuka went at it on the top. And that was a little weird, too. It was kind of like, wait, I kind of felt that the reason that happened was because Asuka maybe felt that Baron Corbin was getting in her way when she was at the top of the ladder. So maybe that's why she was like trying to get him knocked off. But I mean, they could have easily cooperated and been like, hey, you get yours, I get mine. So that's what it was. D-Train says, honestly, I was so invested in the match, I didn't even notice no commentary. What? Did you really? That's so funny. But I get it, because, sometimes you tend to mute commentary out. So I totally get that. Vinny says, literally, Becky got so heated over Taylor Swift using her phrase, the man, when it was released as a single. She's cool, but I like the Bella twins more. Different people for sure. Carly Funches says, mind blown is right. J-Law says, didn't even notice there wasn't any commentary. Mind blown. What? So multiple people didn't notice that? Holy dang. All right. Okay, moving on. That's interesting. Okay, where was I at? Okay, so then, all right, so Asuka, guys. Asuka gets the money in the bank, and all I gotta say is Asuka deserves it. Hands down, okay, guys, hands down. Asuka was the one that was thinking far ahead of all the other ladies right from the start. She was the one that went straight to the elevator, so she knew the game plan and she knew the strategy to winning. And third, she was the one that seemed like she really wanted it. So, hey, hands down, kudos to Asuka for winning that. Then after that, we saw the rest of the guys coming in and join this. I want to point out that the editing for this was really, really great. The entire thing, I think the editor did a hell of a job. And then we saw AJ and Baron Corbin trying to get the money in the bank, so they were both going at it. And then I'm thinking for a second, man, Baron Corbin might win this, and I really didn't want that. And then I see AJ get it, but then AJ drops it. He drops it, and bam, who's underneath that ladder ready to catch it? Otis. I had no idea Otis was gonna win. My thoughts were that Aleister Black was gonna win. That was my original pick. I didn't think Otis was gonna win. I really did not see that happening. And so when he caught it, I just screamed out loud. I was like, what? I'm not kidding you. I don't remember the last time I was that shocked. So let's see. What did you guys think when Otis ended up winning? Jonathan Jones said, I heard a rumor that Becky Lynch will be leaving WWE to join Hollywood and start her acting career. But I also heard that she is rumored to be cast in Marvel movie. If you're familiar, I heard the rumor. I have heard the rumor too as well, Jonathan. And the way I see it is I don't see it happening. I think it'll happen maybe later on in the future, but I don't see it happening right now. I think she could easily do both, or she could do stuff in Hollywood and do WWE as well. Plus, she is such a main, she's very important in my opinion to the company, because for mainstream purposes, she's the person that you want out there talking to the media. She is the person you want out there representing the company. And I think she's done such a tremendous job at that right now that I think that she's definitely worth the big bucks. She's definitely worth staying there and WWE doing whatever it takes to keep her there. And I still think she has a lot of really great stuff that she can do, but that doesn't go to say that she can't be doing both. She can do Hollywood stuff and also do WWE, in my opinion. Alexa Bliss says, how can one be a WWE superstar from Bangladesh? I don't know. Carly says in regards to Asuka winning, she says she definitely deserved it. D-Train says Asuka is a great wrestler and she is one of the more entertaining on TV right now, and she deserves it. Yes, she is consistently bringing entertainment in whatever she does, whether she's on commentary, whether it's a match, whether it's a backstage promo. She's one of the people that we're constantly talking about on the post Raw review show, is that Asuka is she just gets it, guys. She just has personality and a lot of charisma, so she does a really great job at everything she does. J-Law says that shows how great the match was, that the commentary sometimes is irrelevant. D-Train says, excellent, Jay. Steven says, I cheered when Asuka took the briefcase. I hope she cashes it in and wins. Sam Mapping and other stuff says, hi, Denise. Hello there, Sam. Mesmer Sari says, Mr. Money in the Bank. Carly says, I don't think I was going to. Oh, Carly says she did not expect Otis to win either. Francisco says, I'm glad Asuka won, but I really thought Lacey was going to punch all those nasties and get the Money in the Bank briefcase. You know, I don't think Lacey Evans was a pick of mine. I didn't think I saw her, like, being a person that would win. But, hey, I thought that one could have gone any direction. Steven says, AJ is going to protest the outcome of the Money in the Bank match, saying he got the briefcase first and should be the winner of the briefcase. Hey, that's something that could definitely happen on Raw. I mean, I could definitely see that happening where he's like, dude, what the hell? Like, that was mine. Like, I grabbed it. Like, it's mine. I can see that. Vinny also says he actually deserved it, and Otis seems like he earned the title and may have been a bit underrated, so I think he got it fairly. And J-Law says he thinks that Asuka could do a lot with the briefcase. All right, so there you guys go. That was essentially the Money in the Bank women's and men's. It was a lot of fun. If you did not watch this, I would watch the pay-per-view simply to watch this because it's so different, it's so fun, and they just did a lot of really unique things and a lot of really funny moments. And I think that right now, that the fact that they're putting on this entertainment, hey, go ahead and enjoy the funny moments. So take it while you can. So that was the main event for Money in the Bank. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump all the way to the top of the main card and kind of go over the rest of the show. We started out with the fun stuff because I wanted to make sure we got that in first. All right. So here we go, guys. Money in the Bank pay-per-view opened up with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The New Day versus Forgotten Sons versus The Miz and John Morrison versus Lucha House Party. I thought this was a great match to kick off the show because it was a fun match. It started off really fast. It was fast-paced. I thought Grand Metalik was perfect for starting off the match. He did a lot of really exciting things, and that goes for the entire Lucha House Party. I thought they were the highlights of this match. They did a lot and just made it really exciting. Big E ended up getting the pin over Grand Metalik, and the New Day retained their titles. They were my picks, actually. I felt that the New Day was going to win, and they did. My assumption is that the Lucha House Party got pinned in order to protect the Forgotten Sons because, hey, that happens, and I don't see them doing anything with Lucha House Party in the future, but at least we can have them in there and doing really good matches. Andrew actually has different opinions in regards to the Money in the Bank match. He says Otis should not have won and Asuka should not have won. Why is that, Andrew? Go ahead and share your thoughts. BTW, here you are allowed to have your own opinion. So if anybody has a different opinion from mine, you are more than welcome to go ahead and share it. I like different opinions. Makes the show funner. Let's see. So that was the match number 1. Go ahead and let me know what you guys thought of it. Were you guys happy that the New Day retained, or were you expecting something differently? What did you think of the match itself? Moving on, match number 2 was originally supposed to be R-Truth versus MVP. I will say this, that I personally was not looking forward to it. It was a match that was added late to the show, and I just had no interest. But at the end of the day, it ended up working out. So basically, R-Truth and MVP started going back and forth about balling and scoring points and that sort of thing. So I kind of tuned out at that. But then we saw Bobby Lashley come out, and afterwards, it basically turned into R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley. My favorite part of this was when R-Truth slapped Bobby Lashley by accident. He just casually slaps him. I thought that was I thought that was really clever. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed that. Bobby Lashley ended up winning in what was a very, very quick match. And then I had a very popular tweet go out because I basically tweeted out that I thought that MVP should be Bobby Lashley's manager and here in WWE because he was back in TNA. And so I tweeted that out and I got tons of retweets and likes. So I'm assuming other people like that as well. So that's just a quick thought. That might be a really good call for both of them. And I would really like that, mainly because I just want to see the whole Bobby Lashley and Lana situation just like end already. I'm definitely over that part of the whole storyline. So I think having somebody else at his side would be a lot better. But let's see what you guys are saying here because I'm seeing a lot of people comment here on the comments chat section. Rafael Guzman says that he enjoyed the cameo appearances in the Money in the Bank. Yes, we talked about that earlier and we mentioned the Money in the Bank match and it made sense. Hey, they're at WWE headquarters. Let's have, some cameos thrown in there. Vinny says, The Miz, he's my main dude after John Cena, of course, was so ready when he came out. Ronald Spike says, did Bayley win? Yes, she did. We'll go into that later on. And then, let's see. Vinny put, of course, by accident. Andrew says, it's not profitable and fun. Sasha should have been in there and won. And Otis should have been out and surprised guest CM Punk. I don't know, Andrew. I think you might be reaching just a little bit more on that one. But it's okay. No worries. D-Train says, I think Apollo Crews joins MVP and Lashley. Apollo Crews has been absolutely impressive the last few weeks on Raw. So I think he definitely deserves more of a feature on the show. He's been doing a really good job. All right, guys, so moving on to match number 3, and it was for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Tamina. So this was another match that I was not looking forward to. I really didn't have any interest in this one either, but I will say this, it turned out to be a whole lot better than I expected. It definitely maybe over delivered for me. So basically here we saw Bayley taunting Tamina at the start of the match, basically taunting and smacking her. And what I really liked was that Bayley was saying, you're not going to win the championship by being nice. I thought that was a really nice kind of full circle type of story, because we all know that Bayley had the super nice girl gimmick, the fangirl gimmick, all of that. And now she's like totally different. So I felt if anyone knows anything about being nice, it's definitely Bayley. So that was a nice little touch there. I thought what actually made this match more entertaining was Bayley's aggression throughout the whole match. Throughout the whole match, Bayley, she played the part, guys. She was pissed. She was angry. She was trying to win this match. And so because of that, I thought it was better than I expected. I think that overall, Bayley has really come together as a champion. Her matches have been pretty good from what I remember the last few months and so. I also love the way that Sasha sold being afraid of Tamina. Her facial expressions were really great during this. They felt very believable. And I liked that the pin didn't come with an obvious distraction. It was more like a casual distraction, like Tamina and Sasha lock eyes, and then essentially Tamina sort of gets distracted by that, but it wasn't done intentionally, or at least it didn't feel that way. So I thought that was a pretty good way to end the match there. So eventually we know that Sasha will at some point turn on Bayley. When that will happen, I'm not entirely sure, but I think we can definitely get that's going to happen. All right, so here we go. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Andrew says Bayley is the best. And D-Train says, yeah, I agree, over-delivered, wasn't interested either. Carly says, I didn't have any interest in the match either. J-Law says, it's unfortunate that Tamina booking in the past makes her not a threat to win the bout. And Kobe 2 says, estoy aquí, Denise. Hello there. And Allison Joy says, hi, sorry I'm late. It's okay, as long as you join, I'm good. And Francisco Blanco says, Tamina is in the twilight of her career. Interesting. Okay, interesting comment. Interesting outlook. DTMD Donut, Don't Touch Ho, says, my favorite match was between Dana and the janitor when she totally slipped and ate it. That was nasty. Yeah, it was so smooth though. She fell really nicely, by the way. So here we go, guys. After that, we saw the Seth Rollins promo where he basically says he's going to unburden Drew McIntyre, that it's not his industry, it's not his show, and that it is his duty to be the champion. I know that it's the same Seth Rollins promo over and over again. I get that, but I liked it. Sue me, I liked it. Let's see. Reacting Channel says, is there a next match? Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, so I'll just go back to that afterwards. All right. Match number 4. So after that, we had the Universal Championship match, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. So, first of all, I do want to point out that at this point, an hour had already gone by in the show for the Money in the Bank, and I felt the show was moving really fast. I know I mentioned this at the top of the stream, but I didn't feel like there was any sort of lag throughout the show, so it was a very, very easy watch today. Guys, I think this one was pretty interesting because I didn't expect everything to happen the way it did. So basically, Braun Strowman has the black sheep mask. This is a tie, obviously, to the Wyatt family and his debut as the black sheep. So Bray thought that he was essentially coming home to him. He was trusting him, but then obviously Bray, is tricking him and ends up getting him with a running power slam and gets the win. So he essentially tricks Bray Wyatt. So what did you guys think about the ending? It made sense to me, but I didn't see it coming. I didn't expect it. So I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts were on this. And I also want to know if you think that Bray Wyatt's coming out as Bray Wyatt and not The Fiend makes it more predictable to see who's going to win the match. So, for example, having Bray Wyatt not come out as The Fiend, did that automatically make you think, hey, Braun Strowman is going to win this? Did that spoil the ending for you or the results? I'm very curious about that, so go ahead and send your comments in the chat, or once again, if you guys are watching this in repeat, you guys can go ahead and do so in the comments section. By the way, while I wait for your comments to come in, I do want to let you guys know, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let other people, let your friends know, hey, you should subscribe to Denise's channel. She does a live stream all by herself. Go ahead and follow her. Also, for this entire month of May, guys, I've been driving myself bananas, a little bit cuckoo. I've been doing 31 days of new content on my channel. My birthday is on May 18th, so I decided to celebrate my birthday by doing a lot of YouTube videos. So fingers crossed that they do well, and hopefully you guys will go ahead and check them out at some point. I have lots of stuff. I did a closet tour. I did a Guess the Taylor Swift song with my friend Tiffany. I did my worst audition ever, my top 5 favorite TV shows. I'm just like storming out content here, so make sure you guys check it out. So just a quick plug. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Let me see. Let me go back up. Oh, yes. Thank you, Mesmer Heart. Oh, my God. I almost forgot to mention this. When I was talking about the Seth Rollins match, I forgot to mention Seth Rollins has new music, guys. I know Sean Ross Sapp and I talked about this on the post-Raw Fightful show, and we mentioned that he definitely needs new music, and he got it today, so yay. That definitely adds a lot to his character, so I'm really glad that happened. Let's see. And Mesmer Heart says he loves Seth's new music. Andrew notes that the Vince McMahon segment was really funny. Yes, and we talked about that earlier, and we talked about the Money in the Bank match. That was a really clever nod. I'm glad they didn't fight in his office. Show some respect. So they did. That was good. Let's see. Reacting Channel says, is Money in the Bank over? Yes, it is, but rewatch it. There's some pretty good stuff in there, as I'm mentioning here today. DTMD says, oh no, I lost your comment. Where'd you go? Oh my God, I was reading your comment. Oh, there you go. DTMD says, did you see what Alistair posted on Twitter? I did not. Go ahead and inform me in the comments section. J-Law says, Vince's office was pretty vanilla. I knew about the dinosaur score, but it's surprisingly sparse. Well, it's pretty interesting. I think there's 2 types of people. I've noticed this myself, is that there's 2 types of people. There's a person that can have an office that's very, very minimal because that's how their ideas come. And then there's people like me that have like a ton of stuff in their office because that's just the way they function. So I just kind of think it depends on the person. But I've noticed that a lot of people have very minimal offices. So maybe that's just his taste. Francisco Blanco says, looks like Bray is the fall guy for the Fiend. Next is Fiend versus Strowman. Yeah, and I don't like that, Francisco. I don't like that. I don't think it should be that way because Bray Wyatt is still a former champion. So it's not like he's just a job guy or something. No, he's a former champion. He should definitely get some wins. So I think we should see more of those Bray Wyatt matches where he's beating people because it shouldn't just be like, oh, he could just win as the Fiend. It shouldn't be that way. Alexa Bliss says, this is the baddest show. Money in the Bank ladder match was a movie. Did you not enjoy it? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Carly says, love you, Denise. Thank you, Carly. You're awesome. Andrew, Denise is beautiful and rocks. Sorry, guys. I'm reading the nice comments about myself. I can't skip those. Brandon Peters says it was like a comic book story adjacent to Batman and the Joker. Good comparison. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else you guys are saying here. Okay, Jonathan Jones says, you might be right about Sasha Banks because her friend Bailey screwed her not once but twice, just letting you know. And then, all right, I'm trying to see. And then I'm getting a bunch of early birthday comments. Thank you, guys. Hello to Albert Galarga, who wants me to say his name. And then Kavan Chu, who says, Otis and Asuka winning was the greatest moment. Yes, it was really, really good. We talked about that earlier today. BTW, if you just tuned into the chat and you want to hear my thoughts on Money in the Bank, you can always rewind and hear me talk about that because I did go in depth about Money in the Bank main event and talked about that at the top of the show. All right, so we just finished wrapping up Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. So now let's go into the last match that we have to discuss for today's stream, which is Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. And once again, Seth came out to a new song, finally. Good, because we needed it. To be honest, I thought this match started off a little bit slow. But it ended up becoming a pretty decent match. I know that a lot of people on Twitter were raving about it, saying they really, really liked it. I liked it, but I don't think that I would necessarily rave about it. I don't think it was like I didn't think it was like amazing. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like freaking out about it. Let's see. Seth Rollins dominated the beginning / middle portion of the match. Drew took a beating during this match. They had some good moments. Nice finish. My favorite part was the end, was the finish, and then basically Drew McIntyre basically telling Seth Rollins to be a man and shake his hands, and they shook hands afterwards, which I was not expecting. So I wonder if that means that this is over. I don't really know. I feel like shaking hands after a match is like a big deal, but what does it signify? So I don't know. Maybe you guys can go ahead and throw in some guesses there. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and read your guys' comments. Kevin Shu says, new subscriber, do more of this reaction channel. Thank you so much, Kevin, for coming in and subscribing to the channel. Jayla says Shayna needs a rework already. So you're not happy with what's going on with Shayna? I thought there was a few weeks where she was beating up girls. I know she beat up Sarah Logan and she beat up somebody else on Raw. And it seemed like they were going to have her do this continuously, but then it seems like they decided not to continue that. So I'm not really sure where Shayna's at right now. Mesmer Heart says WWE is looking to extend temporary storylines like Bray, Braun, and such until crowds come back. Yes, it's true because, well, I mean, I'm not confirming this, but I'm just saying it seems that way because right now with no crowds, you don't want to waste hot storylines. I get that. You don't want to waste hot storylines, but at the same time, ratings are going down because fans are most likely not expecting anything major to happen, so they're not tuning in. Maybe they're just watching the highlights afterwards, or they're just reading about it on Twitter or on wrestling websites. I don't really know what the reason is, but that's just my assumption. D-Train says, I can totally see Denise as WWE show backstage or something permanently. Thank you so much, D-Train. You've been rooting for me for a while, so I hope to not let you down at some point in the future. DTMD says, Denise, Alistair posted a picture of a ghost, very spooky. Oh, I did not see that. I will look at that after the stream ends. Let's see. Jonathan, have you heard the song Alexa Bliss by the band Bowling for Soup? And did you like it? I have not heard. I had heard that they did a song, but I haven't actually heard the song. Abhim New says Drew McIntyre is win Money in the Bank. I don't understand the comment on that one. So if you just rewrite it, I'll go ahead and answer it. And let's see. Mesmer Heart says Seth Drew was match of the night. Yes, it was a really good match. I did say that earlier, that it was a good match. And then DTMD says, BTW, my stepmom's name is Denise. Well, shout out to your stepmom, and BTW, happy Mother's Day. I forgot to say happy Mother's Day to all of you. If there's any mothers in the stream, happy Mother's Day. Let's see. And then Francisco Blanco says, Drew shake the hand of the evil Jesus. And Alexa Bliss says Charlotte versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley, winner equals Charlotte. All right, guys, so there you go. That was Money in the Bank. Those were my thoughts on the show. I really thought that it was a fine show, no lags whatsoever, and I just really enjoyed the Money in the Bank main event, and I honestly think that I'm going to go back and rewatch it because I was tweeting, writing my notes, and watching it at the same time, so I kind of want to go back and watch some of the things I missed, but overall, I thought it was really good, it was really exciting, and it lived up to the excitement, and I almost like, how is it going to be going back to the, I just know that I'm going to want to see this again at some point in the future. And I know they're obviously not going to be able to do this every single year because then that would take away from that. But I still think it's a really fun thing to have, especially right now. So overall, I would say good job. Fun pay-per-view. For those of you watching on the replay, if you did not watch the pay-per-view, go and watch it, or at least watch the WWE Money in the Bank main event match. I personally think that you will actually enjoy yourselves. Any last-minute comments before I go? J-Law says WWE should be using this time and putting on banger Raw and SmackDown with so many viewers sitting at home. Now that the tape shows are over, they need to do something different. I can't disagree with that. DTMD says, not gonna lie, I cried when Wade got thrown over the roof, even though he is okay. I grew up watching him. Yeah, Ray would be the one to get thrown over, right? And then Francisco says, when is X-Pac 12360 coming back? I don't know, Francisco. I really have no comments on that. I really don't know. Kevin Show says, talking about dream fantasy matches, I would pay to see Tessa Blanchard versus Drew McIntyre. I would pay to see Tessa Blanchard versus a lot of people. Detroit Riot Maker says, I just know how dedicated and how serious you take this stuff and you would be good addition to the WWE. And Alexa Bliss says, where are you now? BTW, for those of you who do not know, I am based in Los Angeles. I live here in Los Angeles. And so, yeah, that's pretty much me. All right, guys, so there you go. That is my Money in the Bank live stream. I want to thank you guys all so much for coming on here to watch my stream. I have a lot of fun doing these with you guys. I did the WrestleMania ones last month and now this one. So I hope to continue doing these monthly pay-per-view live streams if all goes well. So I hope to see you guys come back to the next one. If not, if you guys want to hear me talk about more wrestling, every single Monday after Raw, I'm on Fightful's channel. So if you guys search Fightful up on YouTube, go to their channel, and every single Monday, I'm there after Raw, talking about Raw with Sean Ross Sapp. Again, that is right after Raw every Monday. So go and check that out if you want to hear me talk about more wrestling. Also, if you haven't, which I know you guys all have, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, Steve Sebastian, who says he loves my content. I've been posting videos every single day this month, so please check them out. Support. I have interviews. I had some recent interviews with The Big Show. If you guys haven't seen that one, go check it out. That one was a really fun, and it was a really good interview for me to get. I was very proud. I also have one with Kayla Braxton. She's such a great interviewer, a great talent. So I learned a lot talking about this stuff with her. So make sure that you also check out that interview. And then, like I said, there's so many other videos. Every single day I'm posting a new video this entire month on my channel. So go and check them out. If not, I will see you guys on Twitter or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. Feel free to follow me, chat with me. Let me know if you guys tuned into my stream. All right, guys, that is it. I am out. Have a wonderful Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed Money in the Bank. Love you all. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone. Take care.